My name is Aaron Jones, and I'm the President and CEO of IPS Global Aviation. IPS is a company that truly cares. We put our heart and soul into this organization. We operate 24 hours a day.
Surf into summer celebrations with a wave of unforgettable gifts from Crown Jewels & Coin. For graduations, marriage proposals, and this season's tide of occasions, we have the lowest price on pre-owned Rolex watches and fine jewelry. Design your own wedding ring from the state's only Bellagio selection and choose from diamond jewelry starting at $299. Easy financing available. Catch the brightest rays and capture shining moments with a heartfelt gift from Crown Jewels & Coin. For all you treasure, San Mateo, north of Candelaria.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Creative Kill, the Creative Kill podcast. My name is John, and we have Ben Marshall here, and today's guest is going to be Jessie Crawford. What's up, Jessie? How you doing?
I'm doing great, guys.
Jessie is a firefighter, and Jessie is also an actor. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but first, guys, I got to, thank you for your service, and I've got to, let me get into our sponsors, guys, real quick, and as soon as I finish that, we will jump right into this today. Sound good with you guys?
Cool. Sounds good.
All right. Okay. So our first sponsor today is going to be this lovely studio, 519. Thank you, 519, City of Albuquerque Comcast. You guys are nothing short of amazing. We love this studio. We are in our little pod studio again today, but we'll be back in Studio A on Friday, which is Friday the 13th, everybody, by the way. It's going to be, got some big announcements, too, on that show. But then our second sponsor today, we got to talk about him again, IPS Global, right, Ben?
Oh, most definitely, guys. IPS all the way, all day.
All the way, all day. Aaron Jones and IPS Security. I mean, Jessie, have you ever seen IPS around town? Those fucking guys are like, they're like, we call them our mini military. Or like I was in Target, and I'm just going to say this. I was in Target on Monday. I had to go by, and I was looking for a T-shirt for Friday's show. And the guy was there, Dixon. Hey, just to let you know, Dixon, you're a really nice guy. They are like, first of all, they look super intimidating. I was in the security industry. You're a firefighter. Ben's been he trains law enforcement and stuff. These guys are super professional. Yes. Am I right? It's like when you see him, and Dixon was the nicest guy. And I told him, I was like, man, I'm going to hold on to your name because, well, we've got those shows coming up, you know, and we're going to have to, Mike's obviously there, but he's our stunt coordinator. Yeah. So he can't work. And then, so I want to bring on, but anyway, our second sponsor today, guys, is going to be Crown Jewel & Coin. Crown Jewels & Coin. It's off of San Mateo here in Albuquerque. If you need anything like watches, rings, jewelry repair, anything like that, we've got Crown Jewel & Coin. They are awesome. Rona, she's the owner of it. It's amazing. And we still have to go over there and do our quick. We're going to shoot a little segment over there with them. But yeah, they're helping us out a bunch. Our third sponsor today, man. Ben, I can't wait to take you over this. It's Duke City Toys. Now, listen, this is the boy in all of us. I know I'm 48 years old. I mean, obviously, look at what we're doing. This has been a passion project of mine. Right. But this guy's got some shit that from my generation when I was a kid, like old He-Man characters.
I was gonna say.
Thundercats. Oh, dude, he has Thundercats. He has everything, but his horror toys too. Shit, he just got a new batch in. So if you guys are big toy fans, they are the number one toy provider here in Albuquerque. I got to tell you, it's like you kind of have crossover shops, like comic book shops that do toys too. He just does all toys. And man, I can't wait to even take Charlotte in there. We're gonna go by there on Friday so she loves Wonder Woman. You know,
Heck
Wonder
yeah.
Woman
As
is
she
her shit.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So I told him we'd swing by. He's got like this whole section of Wonder Woman. So Charlie's going to be super excited. She's coming on the show Friday too. That's
Very
you
cool,
know,
very
we've
cool.
had
Oh,
a little
yeah.
plan.
Oh, yeah,
She's
we've been
super
planning that out
excited.
for a while.
Yeah, my daughter's here with me for 2 months for the summer, and we're going to get her in as much episodes as we can.
That's
And,
good,
and,
good.
you know,
Start her-
I mean, we're
get
not
her in.
family friendly, but at the same time, she loves the same shit her daddy does.
Oh, yeah.
And so we allowed her to watch. We allowed her to watch a couple of horror movies that are not kid friendly, but you know they're not super scary. But there was one in particular that she just loves. It was called The Visit. So did you watch The Visit?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
It was great.
cool. Yeah, it was
great.
really cool. She
Yeah.
loves that.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah, it's Psycho Grandma and Grandpa.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was like, whoo, wow.
yeah, and so anyway, so Duke City Toys, thank you so much for sponsoring, and then we have Wolf Krusemark Art who helps us do our t-shirts.
Thank you, Wolf. Thank you,
And
Wolf.
Wolf is one of our hosts. Thank you, Wolf. And then, you know, just to toss out some other things out there, Doughboy Cookies, you know, that's Tori's brand. Thank you, Tori.
Thank
We
you,
love you
Tori.
too. And finally, I just want to get this out here. Check out our socials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, guys. There's a lot of exciting things that are about to happen with this brand. Okay, we are partnering up with some very, very big other horror brands. I can't make the formal announcement yet, but I'm just trying to tease you guys as our audience and let you know that it's going to be fucking big. It's going to be really big. And then also, for these 5 live shows, and I'm about to announce it here in a little bit, but we are also looking for more sponsors, guys. If you have a brand, if you have a business that's out there, if you, especially here in Albuquerque, we love to feature a lot of local small businesses. Corporations, bring it on. I mean, I don't think that they're going to be the guys that jump on board with us right away, but we'd love to have you.
Most of.
But small businesses here in Albuquerque, guys, we want to get you featured. And if you have your horror product, okay, we do this for free. This is me and Ben's thing. Okay, and Jesse, you're gonna love this. So we have this game right here. It's called Serial Killer. This is one of we people send us in stuff, and we don't review it because I hate being a critic. I'm not a critic, but we have like this guy. The company's called Venom Haas, and Venom Haas created this. Have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
Oh, absolutely.
This is the Cards Against Humanity, but with serial killer stuff.
Oh, that's
So it's how you would kill somebody, and you know it's all satirical. It's all fun. It's pretty disgusting, but we love it. We're planning a game time here pretty soon for all of us. So we'll get that on camera, show everybody how it's played. But thank you, Venom Haas, for this. We want to thank Michelle Velasco for her Hollywood High Chronicles. I got one of her books over there too. She was our last guest. Melissa, you are wonderful. Too bad you're fucking dead. Anyway, now we are here. We are live, and we are getting here with our guest today. Our guest is Mr. Jessie Crawford. Jesse, how you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. So I'm going to pilot this ship real quick and tell you, because I met you two both on the same fucking film franchise or the film set. So all 3 of us worked on this show called Obliterated. You may see Jesse. Jesse has this amazing scene where he's fucking dead in a pawn shop in Obliterated. That's the only time you really ever see him. It's kind of like me and Ben. You know, you see us in this task force briefing or whatever it is. But Jesse played one of the bad guys.
What's funny too is actually I did I was one of the bouncers too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So that was
weren't
the
you a
main-
bouncer also?
So-
Jesse and I worked together for the first time.
Yeah. We did the bouncer. That scene was actually, man, that was a long one. That was the whole club scene.
Yep,
Yeah.
with DJ Candy Corn. I
Candy
think.
Corn,
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta tell you, man. I even tried rewatching it. And guys like Cobra Kai, it just didn't resonate with a lot of people. I liked some of it, and then because we were a part of it, but it was just, unfortunately, it didn't just, they canceled it at Netflix. But it's like one of those Netflix deals where it's one and done all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, Jesse, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so obviously Jessie Crawford,
actor.
Actor.
Yeah, he's and real quick, we'll just announce this. Jesse's in our film. He's in our film with us. We've announced, we've told people we're making a feature film, and Jesse is one of our leads. I mean, fucking look at the guy. I am definitely the ugliest guy at the table today, guys. Okay, we've got fucking Captain America here, and
exactly,
and fucking Idris Elba over here, right? And then you have me, who's like fucking
love.
Steve Buscemi. No, I'm just saying. What I mean, Jesse. Anyway, I'm gonna let you tell a little bit about yourself and your fire department and stuff. But yeah, Jesse and I met on Obliterated, and go ahead, Jess. Tell them a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so Jessie Crawford, obviously. I've been a firefighter going on, well, actually 8 years now.
Wow.
Nice.
Figured, the schedule that we have is 2 days on, 4 days off.
Right.
So, I'm like, with that type of a schedule, I
Well,
feel
you just
like
told me when you came in, you're like, yeah, dude, I just got off work. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, dude. You're like, we didn't have any calls last night, though.
It was. Hey, and you know what's funny is it comes in waves. Sometimes, nights you sleep, and sometimes nights you don't sleep. So sometimes the first day off could be sleeping all day, trying to recover and get back to your normal schedule. So technically, I like to say, 3 days on and then 3 days off.
Right.
To give a day to pick it back up on everything.
Right.
But yeah, luckily I was grateful. We didn't have any calls last night. I was grateful for everybody.
Nice. Now you are Santa Fe Fire Department, correct?
Santa Fe County.
Santa Fe County.
Yes.
Okay, I always get this wrong because I've asked Jesse this a million times, but I smoke way too much weed, so my head is just like. I don't even really smoke. I just eat a lot of gummies. Smoking in me, it's like,
Yeah,
Anyway.
carcinogens, man.
Anyway, so Santa Fe County, but you are technically, aren't you Edgewood? And to give some people some perspective, you're on the other side of the mountain of us, right?
That is correct. That is correct. So I'm stationed in Edgewood. Santa Fe County is basically like one of the biggest counties in the state. So the population is not that big, but we do cover a lot of urban area.
Yeah.
So the amount of space that we have to cover between station and station is tremendous.
So are you like, if we're on the backside of the mountain, you're like Madrid and like all that back in there?
Yep. So Madrid, that whole entire area, Edgewood, all the way out to Hondo, El Dorado.
So there's that's a lot of woods too. People don't realize this.
Yeah.
So this, when we say mountains, this is New Mexico mountains. Have you seen Bigfoot?
Depending on the night, how much sleep I get,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of weird stuff
I
that
bet,
I get
I
back
bet.
and I'm like,
Yeah,
you know what? Maybe that wasn't real. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I've got Bigfoot on my shirt here. We had to ask him the question, guys, because he's always no. So no, what's funny is what you just said is like when it is dark, this is kind of falls into the horror thing, and you don't have a lot of sleep, you start seeing shit.
Oh, absolutely.
When I used to, because we had a deer lease in Abilene, and you get up at the crack ass of dawn. You're out and you're staying before dark, and like the night before, we just party. It's like guys, it's guys weekend. We go out there, we drink all night, cook steaks, do all this, and you wake up the next morning and you're like. And you think everything is moving. It's like even if you're delirious, you're just like, what is that?
Yep. Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Well, awesome, man. Well, Jess, we are so happy to have you on. And you know what? I'm going to let Ben take the first question. Ben, ask him the big one.
Ultimately, I mean, what's your favorite like horror movie of all time? Like
your favorite horror movie? We're not asking about the villain or anything yet. Just your favorite horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of I guess it's more of growing up. The Scream franchise was huge.
Yeah, definitely.
It was a huge impact on me growing up, just because my aunt, my uncle, and my mom they loved that show.
Oh yeah.
So they would watch it all the time.
They're probably my age.
You know what? They're in their 40s.
Yeah. They're probably my age. Yeah, I'm so sorry. When Scream came out, it was revolutionary. I mean, Carpenter came in and he took the slasher franchise to something that was a little more different than anything else at the time. You just didn't have this big bruiser that was walking through the woods, which we love those guys.
Right.
Just kind of crashing through everything and throwing people. You had this little fucking scrawny Ghostface guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Running around.
Yep.
And I love the fact that they added the comedy into it too.
Definitely. Yeah.
And we just were talking about this. We have Jamie Kennedy and Skeet Ulrich actually coming here in a few weeks for the Duke City Comic Con. I'm trying to get we've talked to Jamie Kennedy's, but the people, but Skeet's he's a little more expensive. So Skeet, hey, if you want to help out some starving actors here, we're starving, Skeet. Help us. Come on the show. $500. Anyway, but yeah, no, that franchise was awesome. Now I'm going to ask you to say, so I just kind of touched on it. Who is your favorite horror villain? Like the guy.
You know, we were just talking about the brute. You know, the big.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, I think, was one of the
Right.
the biggest ones.
Right.
Yep.
I think Jason, he did they filmed that, I think, very well. And
Yeah.
I feel like him as a character. There's one scene that I'll never forget. I can't remember what was happening, but I think it was like a couple. They were laying in bed, and he was kind of hanging behind the door, and he had walked in. I believe, if I remember right, I think he stabbed him on the bed. But then the video, how he folds him up in the bed.
Yeah, no, I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I love. You know, that's the thing. Well, and that's the reason why the name of this podcast is Creative Kill. Because I tell everybody this, when I was a kid, we used to watch all these scary slasher movies, horror movies. And when I'd see something that, like the bed folding up or whatever, I'm oh my God, that was a creative kill.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that was
yeah.
creative. Like this has nothing to do with murder or anything. This was just my psyche on watching film and seeing how they could like up the next kill or reach. And I gotta tell you, I love the cheesy kills too. Like some
definitely.
cheesy ass shit that I laugh at. I'm like,
yeah.
when you're just like, oh my God. I gotta tell you guys, I went and seen. And if you haven't seen it, I'm plugging them right now at no cost. The movie's called Bring Her Back, and it's by A24, and it's kind of filmed the same style as it's Bring Her Back, and then what's the other one? Where the Talk to Me.
Oh, yeah,
Talk
yeah.
to Me, where they grab the hand and they
yeah.
get possessed. Something it's similar to that, and I'm not gonna ruin it, but it's so fucking cringeworthy, dude. Like it's so fucking intense the entire time. You're just like, oh my God, like no.
Yeah.
Like it was me. So I go to movies on Monday or Tuesday mornings, over at Icon Theaters, one of our partners. I go there because it's like on Tuesdays it's like $6. I'm always the only person in the theater. It's just me. I've got the whole, and it's awesome. I love screening things by myself. I call Ben and I sometimes go together, but I got to tell you, it's one of these things I love horror. So I don't want any distraction next to me when I'm watching it, because I also take notes.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, it puts you in that mode, like that mood. You know what I mean? Like if you're by yourself and you're watching a horror film by yourself in a movie.
Well, the
theater
reason
that's
why
pitch
we're all
black,
actors is because we fell in love with movies.
Yep. Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
we
Yeah.
all love we want to be in movies. We
Yep.
want to make
Yep.
stuff. And so anyway, yes, Jason. So let's get on to Friday the 13th a little bit. I love what you said. Now, as a teaser to everybody right now, when you see this episode, that is the teaser right there. Just Friday the 13th. That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you for the next big show, for the live show. That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay. In 2-3 weeks, we're coming out with the announcement when ticket sales go on. But yeah, Friday the 13th is the clue, and we'll put that up. We'll put that up down here in the thing. So if you guys are subscribing to our channel, you need to keep watching, because the guests. I mean, we love Jesse, we love our guests, but we're bringing on some hitters, man. We've got 5 big hitters that are coming on for the Creative Kill live show, and Friday the 13th is the first. It's the first hit. So thank you for helping us stick with that. Now, Jesse, I'm going to ask you for the. Do you want to ask him the third question about what stuck with him?
Well, I actually wanted to jump back to the second one.
Okay.
I got a little fun fact for you, man. So I did a little research on your favorites there. And Jason actually has one of the highest kill counts in all of slasher history at 146.
No way.
Also, a little
Fuck yeah, he
character
does.
right. Well deserved. Also, a little character development. He actually, the iconic hockey mask, basically,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That wasn't even part of the original character development. He actually wore like a bag.
It was a bag
basically.
over his head.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
wore
know
a.
that.
It was like in the first one, he never wore the mask. He had a bag over his head. His mom was the one helping him do all the shit too, which you guys know they're making the prequel series on Peacock now. That's
really?
They announced it.
Nice.
It's called Crystal Lake.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Okay.
so
That makes
Crystal
sense.
Lake is it's gonna be like, I guess, how the mom developed into this fucking psychopath or whatever.
Oh, that's pretty
It's gonna
cool.
be an origin story. I hope they do it well, but I know A24 is producing it, so it's gonna probably be pretty good.
Wow.
But yeah,
Wow,
that's
crazy. I had no idea. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, he
that.
wore a bag on
That's-
his head.
Man.
Yeah.
Kind of like me when I go out to the club. No, just kidding. Sorry, guys. I love to joke.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
You gotta do it. They're like, hey, that guy's got a great body, but his face.
His face.
Or the bag over his head. Anyway, yeah, that's.
No, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah,
you. I was
no,
just
no.
gonna
You
say,
want to
so,
go?
Going into the third question here, Jess, we got lined up for you.
The big three.
The big three, right? Now, what like horror movie character, whatever it may be, like lives rent free in your head? Like what really
stuck with you?
Like stuck with you, kind of growing up, you saw that.
I know. I can't wait because you and I are about to fucking go off on this shit. Say
I would have to go with Jeepers Creepers.
Fuck
Oh
yes.
my gosh,
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, yeah.
Okay. I gotta tell you guys something. I went to the theater to go see that with my sister. And it's kind of funny because she was like 10 years younger than me. And I forget when it came out. I think she was like 12 or 13. Mm-hmm. But it was about a brother and sister. We didn't know. Yeah. And then so we got there. It's that first scene when they're driving by the house. And he just does this fucking thing where he's like, hold on, I'm going to. He's like, whoops, sorry. But he just starts. They're driving by and they're looking at him. And he's just like, he kind of just does that glare. When he's throwing the bodies in the back of the car.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
Oh, my God.
And then the creeper himself, I got to tell you, the whole lore behind him is, he wakes up, what is it, like every 30 years or something, and he comes after everybody to get his little body parts. And then, but somebody, hold on, go, you start talking. I'm going to pull up this thing real quick.
But yeah, man, talk about an iconic movie when it came out. I mean, and then even inspired other characters based off that as well. But definitely agree with you, man. It really affected me at a young age too, because we're about the same age. So like seeing it as a little kid, I mean, it was like one of those movies where it's like I'm gonna have nightmares.
Yeah. Oh no. And you know what's crazy is I remember, and I can't remember what the heck I was doing, but I think it just happened to come up on TV when I was young, and I remember seeing him doing they're in the car, right? The couple's in the car.
That
and they're trying to run him over.
fucking truck he drives. Is that like an ice cream truck or like an old milk truck or something?
From like the 1930s.
Yeah, it's definitely like an old box truck or whatever they had from like 1930, and then they just made it fucking creepier with old and rusted.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the graphics of the character of Jeepers, and then the song, Jeepers Creepers, that whole thing just for some reason when you're little. And then what's crazy is
those people.
Right?
I watched it again a couple of weeks ago because I was like, I kind of wanted to see if it would still get the same
Just
effect.
revisit it, and it does.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
For some reason, it's like that connection, right? You start connecting your brain to you connect the dots. Right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god.
So I got to tell you guys. So there was a he's like an Instagram guy or a TikToker or whatever, but he was going off on Jeepers Creepers, and he was like, listen, he was like, first off. He talks about the same scene I did when they're driving by after the truck's doing the whole thing on him. He's fucking tailgating their ass. And then he finally goes by him, and then they drive by the house. And by the way, Justin Long, he's like the Scream King. Like, of all like horror movies, Justin Long always gets fucked up.
Right.
And he's like, it's just his reaction. I think the horror genre just loves him. He loves doing horror. I forget what his sister's name was. But anyway, I want you guys to understand this. So this guy says, and I just have to reiterate, he goes, he says, not the fact that he was stealing like eyeballs and doing all this different stuff. He had wings.
Right.
The creeper was 6'8".
Oh, really?
And 304 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Now, Ben, how big are you?
So I'm 6'2", and I'm 270. So
that motherfucker's got some size on you.
Yeah. I'm looking up to this guy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'd lose. I think that's one fight you'd be out.
I mean,
sorry, you too, Jess. I'm the first to die. I'll tell you that.
Maybe if we team up as like a tripod, we might be able to take him out.
Yeah,
I got the speed, you get the force.
I mean,
that shit ain't happening. That shit ain't happening. That shit ain't happening, dude. No, not when this motherfucker's got wings.
I know.
Yeah,
How big was Jason?
Jason was like 6'6".
Yeah, 6'6". Yeah,
6'6", 6'7". I think he's about the same size as Wolf. Yeah, but he didn't have wings.
No.
He couldn't fly. No. Dude, no, my favorite, did you see Jeepers Creepers 2?
I did.
That's one of my favorites too. I really like that one because it's like they're on a bus and these kids just keeps on taking them. And then it actually shows a little bit more about the creeper as he's flying.
I was going to say, he had a lot more scenes in that one where he was actually flying.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
The new one, too. Didn't that come out?
Oh, that was the shitty one, man.
Dude,
that was it. I don't even know if that was... somebody secured the IP for that and made the most garbage fucking film I've ever seen.
It was a little Sharknado-ish.
And I tell people, That was one I was mad about. I was
Yeah,
really mad that they need to give that character to somebody that really wants to develop that series. That could be, I like what they're doing with horror, like with Crystal Lake, and they were talking about, I was just telling you guys about Taylor Sheridan's bidding on Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep. Right. Yep.
I'm not too thrilled right now that the Saw franchise went over to Blumhouse. I'm sorry. I think Blumhouse. I love Jason Blum. I love what he's done before, but I think that his last several projects have not been well. I think that they need to revisit and go back to their roots and not remake a bunch of stuff all the time, because I feel like that's all they're doing. Now it's like, oh, let's get the IP from somewhere. I mean, we liked Megan. Megan was fun.
Right.
And it's original. It's original. Yeah. So they're doing the second one, which looks a little more cheesier, but I'm in on. I'll see it. Charlotte likes Megan too.
Makes sense.
I let her watch Megan. I didn't let her watch Abigail. Abigail's the one about the little vampire. She wants to watch that next. I'm like, that one's a little rougher.
Yeah.
I want to wait on that one.
Right. Yeah, I think you're not going to be able to sit through this whole thing, because I mean, we barely made it through the visit. You know what I mean? It was like at the end, and it gets a little creepy. But yeah. So
I think the biggest thing for the new one versus the old one is even just the way the character looked.
Yes,
definitely. Like it was not scary at all.
No,
it
was
cartoonish. Almost like
Insidious.
Because I remember like watching Insidious and be like, oh my god, that's kind of creepy.
One,
But then when you saw the character and stuff, it kind of I don't know, man. It made me feel not terrified anymore. Yeah. I was like, wow, okay, this guy doesn't even look that scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's, I think I think a lot of times, the executives get involved a little too much. They don't let the creatives stay in there. Right. And I think they're learning their lesson now. I mean, it's a big waste of money for them, like to make a. I don't know what the budget on that last Jeepers was, but it was not enough, number one. No. Number two is the camera work was not good at all. I mean, I don't like to rag on people because there's a lot of hard work done in productions. I've told him this. I don't like to criticize, but that one pissed me off. And I really wanted it to be this franchise that they were bringing out, because I feel like you could have told new stories. But imagine, dude, I just thought of this. So I'm totally going off script right now. So I just watched this animated series called Predator: Killer of Killers. Have you guys seen it yet?
Yeah.
Fucking watch it, dude. It's Predator, but it's animated. We need a crossover with the Creeper and the Predator.
That'd be awesome.
A fight.
Awesome.
Like, fucking
so
fight.
Because when we were talking about his height, I was like, that's like Predator's height.
Yeah. But they're almost the same fucking, like, they look like they could be cousins.
It's true.
You know what I mean? It's like.
Definitely related. Distant. Twice removed, but for sure.
Twice removed, right. But no, think about that one. That fight would be. I think that one thing we need to do, like a team, or what was that claymation show on MTV called the Team Deathmatch?
Team
Deathmatch.
Yeah,
we
Predator
need to
versus
do
Creeper.
that. We need to like.
God, that's crazy.
I just want to be able, and I got to tell you, I think with AI, a lot of this stuff's going to start coming out. We're going to start seeing it.
Yes.
I think that the studios, though, with intellectual property, will start looking on it and start suing people, though. Yeah. I think that's our biggest scare, is that you don't own the IP, but you design a character that looks like Jason or whatever that fights like Michael Myers. Right. We've always wanted to see these kind of standoffs because we're big kids. It's all men are, and we're always like, oh my God, I want to see, Ghostface versus Freddy or whatever. But I have always, when I saw that Predator Killer of Killers, and then this new Predator trailer that's come out,
Badlands,
the Badlands is coming out in November. I'm like, dude, that'd be a great thing. All right, well, guys, we're gonna move on now, and we're gonna just talk about a little lore and a little spooky stuff. Okay, now Jesse, this is where we get into talking to our guests about, stuff that's happened to them in real life. Like we just had Melissa Velasco on. She was telling us about this Ouija board incident she had happen to her, where apparently, that we like. She basically said that she had a paranormal incident happen. You guys check out that episode. That's episode 9. And so we like to ask our guests, have you ever had anything happen that's been kind of weird or creepy, or do you have a creepy story you can tell us? And then I want to I want to talk about we're not going to get too much into Jesse's firefighter career. We had to talk with him here a little bit. He's gonna reiterate, but I'll tell a story, and then I want him to listen to it and see what he has to think since he's a firefighter. But Jesse, go ahead, tell me, what do you got? What do you tell us?
Yeah, so I got
give us the juice.
Right. Yeah, I got one big story. Outside of dreams and nightmares, because I think dreams and nightmares, they can be pretty much anything, and if you think about it hard enough after, they could probably make it feel real.
Right.
But I remember I was in high school, and I think I was like a sophomore, and we were on our way to a basketball game, and I was riding on the bus, and I can't remember. I think we were going to like Magdalena. I don't know if you've ever been to Magdalena, but it's
I've heard about it. Where is Magdalena?
It's I believe it's like south. It's further south.
Yeah.
It's in order to get there, you got to drive through basically you're going right over the top of the mountain.
Okay. So is this like, okay, we're on the west side of the mountain, right? Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
So we go to the east side. Is this like in Moriarty or
no?
Like
So
way
it's
south?
More towards Socorro.
I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. Is it like Ruidoso? Like over in that area? No, I don't know, guys. I'm not from here. I'm from Texas.
right. No, I don't think it's quite that far. I mean, like a halfway point maybe between Socorro and Ruidoso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so we were on our way to the basketball trip, and I literally remember being in the back of the bus, and I had just taken a nap. I fell asleep. As I woke up, I remember looking out it was like a pretty cloudy day, overcast, and I remember looking out the window and looking to my left, and we were going up past the cemetery, and I had turned over. I looked, and I saw I thought a person. And I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? I was like, that was weird, So then I kind of waited, because then I had a tree. I had to pass a tree. I passed a tree, and I look again, and it looked like an old Civil War soldier.
Oh,
and
no
he was
shit.
leaning against the tombstone.
Okay.
And I remember being like, oh my God, what the heck? This is crazy. You know what I mean? And he had that. It was old school, old Civil War.
Yeah.
All it wasn't even like it was a clean, his uniform and stuff was washed. It was cut up, it was grungy, had that type of feel and look to it. And I remember being like, oh my God, that's crazy.
It's making kind of my hair stand up right now just talking about it.
Yeah, so I was like, all right. I was like, what the heck? I started kind of freaking out, thinking I was starting to see stuff. And I started getting kind of goosebumps and stuff, so I was feeling kind of weird. And I'm a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
And at first I just woke up, right? So I was like, maybe
you're
I'm
kind of
sleeping.
still asleep or something.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And I passed another couple of trees, and he still was there.
What?
Still was there.
I love it.
And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a second. I looked for it. And and as I'm describing the story, it feels like it was 20 minutes, but it was all fast, right? Everything's happening so quick.
Right.
I remember looking forward. I was like, okay, just for a minute and take a breath. And I looked back. It was gone.
Oh, gosh.
And I was like, oh, my gosh.
That's what happens. They don't want you to see them.
And then the weirdest part about that was weeks after. So I remember to this day, weeks after, I would still start to see him, but it was when I was asleep, I would wake up in the middle of the night, and it was outlines of him anywhere in the room, anywhere. And I knew it was the same one because he had a big old beard, and I remember seeing kind of the outline, the silhouette and everything.
This is kind of like Dizzy's story. Remember when he was talking about that ghost with him in the hotel?
Yeah, and for a while I was like, man, what the heck is going on? I started to believe. So I started doing my own research, started looking into it, right? Because I'm like, maybe I'm one of those people that can see ghosts.
Yeah,
and
maybe I'm the medium.
maybe I'm the medium. But no, for a couple weeks after that, I kept on seeing it, and then finally it stopped. Wow. But it was crazy because it wasn't like he didn't want to hurt.
No,
I didn't get the
he's
vibe
probably
of
attaching his shit. He may have been a relative of yours. You never know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm serious. So what, a lot of entities or a lot of people when they talk about ghosts, I don't know. First off, I don't believe in a bad ghost. I don't think that there's ghosts out there that are
Right,
I think that it's either people that haven't passed on or something's happened and it has something to do with energy and, whatever like that. But I think that if because you identified it, it's kind of just stuck with you and it was just going to stick around with you. Yeah, that's
right.
that.
And every day I would think about it.
Yeah.
I literally would process it every day. I obsessed it, and then I was like, man, maybe I'm starting to go crazy.
That's a little bit of shock though, because it's when you do see something, and we'll get into a little bit more of this with you being a firefighter, me being, what I did for my job. But it's there are those things, and it's you being a kid, you seeing something like that, you'll never forget that shit.
No.
And just like you're talking about it like it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know, because when you do have those, and I don't want to call it a traumatic event because your life wasn't in danger, but
Right.
it's something. It's like somebody that sees a UFO and says, "I saw a UFO,"
Right.
Yeah.
and they know they saw it,
Right.
and they know they were there, and they know exactly. They can tell you everything if they go through a lie detector test or whatever. They could, but everybody else is kind of like whatever.
And you know what I think it is too is it's that piece of your brain that has been triggered that like you never trigger on a normal day basis, right?
Right.
It's just like your brain is so powerful. So like when you come across something in your mind or you see something and it triggers that one part of your brain, it just sticks with you.
Yeah.
And then that little piece like now that we're talking about it, I bet you, guarantee, bet money I'm gonna
He's
say
gonna
tonight,
come
let's
see you
leave.
tonight.
I'm gonna leave as I'm
But listen, bitch, you on a podcast talking about me?
Right. Right.
I was up in heaven. I was being so comfortable and nice, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to haunt you anymore. But now you're talking shit.
Right,
And I gotta
right,
come down.
you're
I'm
talking-
just
It's on.
It's
Right,
on.
right.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go to the octagon. No, the ghost octagon. That's our new thing. We should do a short about ghost octagon. Anyway,
no kidding.
Yeah, those things kind of stick with me. And when you talk about it, so I want to talk to you a little bit about being a firefighter, and we're not going to get into your stuff, but obviously there is a sense of fear there, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
you guys, your job, you save lives. That's all you do. And you don't really carry guns to protect yourself.
Nope.
You're first responders. You're there to save lives.
Yep.
Right? So as a firefighter, first of all, I'm going to ask you, this is a simple question. Have you ever been in like a big fire? Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck is that like? Tell us.
I guess there's. I mean, I can probably give a good little story of one.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard, but Edgewood, the Walmart. I don't know if you guys heard about the Walmart fire.
Yeah.
Yes, I know about the fire. I didn't. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that was the first. I would say my first industrial building style fire. That one was very intense. I remember we were getting multiple calls, alarms over there just to check on their alarm system, and it was regular. Every shift we would get like 5 or 6 fucking calls over there because of the alarm system.
I was in the security industry before, and it's like trouble alarms is what they're called, right? And it's usually a malfunctioning piece of equipment.
Yep.
And that nobody wants to fucking fix because we're all a bunch of lazy assholes in the security industry. I'm sorry. No, it's like we'll get to them when we can because it is corporate, right? They want to get out there. But go ahead, I'll listen.
Yeah, so basically we kept on running multiple calls over there, and they had the sprinkler system was getting maintenance done on it. So that was actually the main trigger. That was what was triggering most of the alarms. Well, it just kind of goes back to like we have to take every call so serious because we got another call, another alarm.
Right.
Next thing you know, we're getting multiple calls about actual fire, actual flame in Walmart. So we're like, what the heck, man? Like, this
Can
is
I ask
pretty
you how the
legit.
fire started?
Yes. So there was, I guess there was some shoplifters that were caught.
Oh shit!
And unfortunately, they
Fucking
got
New Mexico.
Yeah, they
Sorry,
got
guys, son.
upset and then came back,
Oh gosh.
lit the toilet paper aisle on fire.
Oh.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, lit the toilet paper on fire. The aisle on fire. They lit.
Do they know
the
how much toilet
automotive-
paper is worth these days? No, I'm just kidding.
That's what, that's crazy. But yeah, they lit that, and then they also did the automotive section.
Oh well, shit. There you go.
But yeah, anyway, to kind of bring it back, I remember basically getting there, and I remember one of the guys on the crew come running out, and he was like, he took a little water cannon. Well, we have these. They're basically called water cannons, and they're like probably like that big around. They're like fire extinguishers, but they're just filled with water and pressure.
Yeah.
And he ran inside with it, you know what I mean? Because we're like, oh, come on, dude. Like, there's probably, we'll hit a couple of those spots, knock it down real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, he comes running out, and I'll never forget his face. And he's like, we need water. He's all, we need big water. And I was like, what?
Oh, I love it.
Right.
Sorry, I
I'll
don't
put
love it.
the
I
Band-Aid.
don't want anybody to get hurt, but I just love to see it.
And his face, I was like, all right. And I remember we pulled up the engine right next to in front of the front door, and we're sitting there outside, and I'm getting ready to put my regulator. I had all my gear and everything on. I'm getting ready to make entry, and I can look in and I could feel the heat. Like the automatic doors kept on opening. They would go, they're opening back and forth. And I remember standing there and being like, man, every time that door opens, this shit's fucking hot.
Oh, I bet.
Like I kept on getting like tastes of that heat.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Frank. He's retired now. He's he's our old engineer that we had, and he was sitting there and he was like, "Hey man," he's like, "That's hot," and because he didn't have his gear on, he was running the pump, so he's like, "Hey, be careful, it's hot in there."
Yeah.
And the fire hadn't self-ventilated or anything like that, but I remember back to being scared.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that was the first moment that I've probably ever had where I was like, this shit's real.
This shit's fucking real.
And I remember putting my
love
face
that. I
piece-
love you said that. Okay, go ahead.
I remember putting my face piece on. Not my face piece, but my regulator. And the way it is, you basically put it on and you got to twist it and it locks.
Okay.
Well, I got it on and I was just shaking. I was nervous. I couldn't even get it to
Adrenaline's
lock.
pumping.
I'm just like, oh my, your adrenaline's pumping.
Yeah.
Your whole body, you feel like you're just floating.
Yeah.
And and I was scared. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I've never felt heat like this before except in training.
Right.
Right. And I'm like, this is real. So like now it's like, you better lock on, and get it together. But
Crazy.
gosh, man.
Yeah.
No, man, this is hey, looking at you guys that talk shit about firearms, go fuck yourself. This is the stuff that they do, man. No, this is serious. I got to tell you, because it's like any first responder, I try to tell everybody this: put yourself in their fucking shoes,
100%.
100%,
Yes.
and go talk shit after that. Because and I'm just gonna give you my little example. So I went from trying to be law enforcement to the private sector and private security, and we did work with. We had a government contract. It was Dallas Housing Authority, which is basically, it's not the projects, but it's Section 8, right? And we had picked up this really bad place called Briargate. And let me tell you guys how big this place was. It's still something else now. I'm not going to name their name now, but it was called Briargate back then before it was been purchased. Apartment complexes get purchased just over and over and over by different management companies. Anyway, it was 1,083 units. It took up 5 square blocks. Wow. It was huge. And so they hired me. They hired us. We had, when we started the contract, it was so bad. The place was so bad that we had 7 guys 24/7 plus 4 cops 24/7.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was just to clean this place up. Well, that was the first time I ever got shot at.
Wow.
And so that's when you talk about getting for real. And I got to tell you, this was scary about this. I was by myself. They were watching me. They knew where I was. They knew so we had a security office, right? And so we'd go in there, we'd write the report. And I was in college, so I worked a 3 to 11 so I could go to school in the morning and then work. And then you're not up all night, but in security guard work, it's kind of like what you said. You have those dead nights, so I could sit there and study and do my homework and stuff in the security office. And our guys were out there, and then I'd go check on them or whatever. So I went back to the office to write a report that night, and as I was coming out, it was weird because they call it a breezeway, and it's like a hallway in the apartment complex, the outside hallway. You know what a breezeway is.
Yeah.
And I would come out, and I turned, and I see a shadow, just a shadow of an individual, and then all I see is the muzzle flashes.
Oh, God.
Pop, 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 7. And then I hear zoom, 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 and none of them. And I just stood there. He ran off. I ran the other way. I called for backup. I'm sitting in there, and you know what? No, the police, they sent the ambulance out just to check on me because I was real frazzled. The police, and I'll tell you about Pedro's story here in a minute, but Pedro Alonso was one of the guys that works with me, and Pedro, they were just like, "Are you okay?" And they're like, "You should be dead."
Yeah.
Like that guy was a bad shot, but they said it was almost like a
or you just
silhouette,
matrixed it like
or
Neo,
that, or no, my guardian angel or whatever was sitting out there.
No kidding.
But when fear comes on, I tell people it's like when you do these kind of jobs, like you do and that I did, or any kind of service, any kind of first responder stuff. To be a human being and mentally get your head right to deal with that kind of stuff, because there's bad shit happening in this world every fucking day.
Every day.
We see what's going on in LA right now.
Right.
We see what's going on. And it just sucks that there are people out there that are so anti-establishment that they don't realize that these are things that we have to have in our society. Otherwise, like you said, Walmart fucking burns down. Who's gonna fucking go? Is Joe Blow in his fat ass basement gonna go over there and fucking do it? No, he's not. It's gonna be the guys that want to do it. So,
well, and people, I think that struggle with that type of thing is that they don't. We're human.
Yeah.
There's in a perfect world, no matter what call, no matter what the heck we do, in a perfect world, if everything was 110% perfect,
it's still
human error.
Yeah.
It's human
it's
error.
all human
we
error.
all have emotions.
Yeah.
We
Right.
all have things in our brain, triggers, things that could affect that call in any way. So it's just like you gotta.
So now I want to get into it. So I was talking to that guy, Pedro Alonso. I got to tell you a story about him. We're going to get off the little human factor. This is a fucked up story. You guys ready? So I always kind of try to tell some kind of crazy story every episode. So I've been waiting for you to tell this one.
Okay.
Story. So we were talking about when you were young, when you first started out, I'm sure you saw some pretty horrible things and you were pretty grossed out.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like there's some throw up moments.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So this is the worst story I've ever heard, guys.
Okay.
This is the worst story I've ever heard. So Pedro, if you're out there listening, I don't know where you're at. I know you're not on socials because I've tried to find you. Him and I were buddies. It was crazy because I ran that apartment complex, and then he was one of my guys. But then he also worked in the. I guess you would say the division he was in Southwest, which is, they divide police departments in different sectors,
Right.
So Pedro, one night, him and I is just kicking it, shooting shit, man. We're sitting outside. It was a beautiful night, and we're sitting in the back of my patrol car, and there's nothing going on. And I said, Pedro, what's the most fucked up thing you've ever heard? You see, and he goes, oh, that was when I was a rookie. And I was like, wow. And this is the kind of the fun stuff I like to talk about. And I go, okay. And I said, can you tell me about it? I said, yeah, I'll tell you about it. He goes, so when he was a rookie, the way they do their training is called Big T and Little T. Big T is you have to ride with a training officer.
Oh, okay.
And like you're riding with him. And then the second part is you're driving and they ride with you kind of thing. Right. Just to make sure they get you going.
Right.
So he was on, I guess, Little T, the one where he wasn't driving. So they showed up. They responded to a call that was a dead body, okay, and a welfare check, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
He said that when they got there, he made it halfway up to the sidewalk, and you could smell the dead body,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
so he immediately got sick. You've been there.
Oh, yeah.
So police now, I'm sure it's a little different because of social media and canceling and all this other bullshit. But his sergeant was like, get the fuck in there. He's like, go in there, check it out. He says, so they breached. The fire department was there. Everybody was there. They got at the door. As soon as they opened the door, flies. All the flies, guys.
Yeah.
Just crazy. And he said there was no power in the place. So
Yeah.
it's I don't know if you've ever been in a house that doesn't have power and it's not had power for a while and there's a bunch of shit in there.
Right.
It's awful. I know
It's-
you
oh,
have.
Yeah.
Fucking like hoarders and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's real. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. It's real to see the way people let their life go or let themselves go in their home. And of course, there was cats and there was all kinds of stuff he was talking about.
Right.
But he
Golly.
said it was so dark because the area we lived in Dallas called Oak Cliff, and there's these huge oak trees, so it's covered, and you're like in a forest, and so there's a lot of dark spots. Well, the house was in a real dark spot, so he said that the sun was going down. And he pulls out his, and this is back when they had mag lights.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
he
yeah.
has big
Right.
fucking-
Yep.
pulls out his mag, and he's like looking around. And he says he breaches to the master bedroom, and he thought it was a waterbed.
Oh gosh.
Okay, he said the bed was moving, and he thought it was a waterbed.
Yeah.
And he said he couldn't wrap his hands, and he passed his bag. It's fucking roaches, just swarms of them over this dead body, and they're just eating it alive and moving. And he ran directly. He goes, I ran directly out of there, threw up, and everybody's laughing. But I can just picture that fucked up scene of this, and I've always wanted to kind of recreate that in a horror movie somehow.
Yeah.
Of how, people don't realize insects really aren't bad. They're what clean up things.
Yeah.
It's like sharks or any other kind of vultures or any kind of thing. They're drawn to just cleaning up this world,
Yeah.
And for a dead body, I mean, I'm sure you know of this. Can I ask you what's the longest you've ever, you've seen a dead body, how long it's been sitting there? I can tell you mine.
It's hard. It's hard because there's unsure how long they've been there, right?
We're not
But-
the medical examiners, right?
Yeah,
I had a 3-day one. I had
3-day
one that was 3 days.
Yeah. Oh no, I've definitely had a couple weeks for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weeks.
Yeah. Well, and it sucks because it's like a lot of these
You got to
people.
peel them off the bed and
Yeah, dude. It's awful. So I talked to. It's like And that's the other shit that people don't realize. It's like you have to see that shit every day, people.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, can you imagine what that does to your psyche to try to keep a positive vibe every day when you're out doing all this stuff and you see the worst shit in the world?
Well, yeah, and the biggest thing too is you see that, and then guess what? You got to get ready, finish that call up,
Yep.
go
to
back
the
to
next.
station, and now you got to be
Pick it up and go to the
110%.
next.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
Shoulder shrug that real quick and
Right.
get ready for the next one.
Right. So it was, but Pedro does tell me he was like, yeah, that was the worst, and that one always stuck with me. So that's kind of my fun little creepy story about the roach waterbed.
The roach waterbed.
Anyway,
Sounds like a segment, actually.
Doesn't it? Sounds like a Sharknado kind of movie,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, don't go in there. It's the roach waterbed.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's the roach bed.
The roach bed. Yeah, we start
Oh
coming.
my gosh.
Anyway, all right, guys. Well, guess what? Your time's up, bro. That's
Sweet,
it.
yeah,
That's it. We are so happy to have you on.
Yes,
But
most
let me
definitely.
close this thing out real quick, Jess, and I've got to touch on our sponsors and a few things real quick. But everybody, Jesse, you were a great guest. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Thank you
man.
for Thank you for being on.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Again, actor Jessie
Yes.
Crawford. He's just getting started, but he's going to be big, guys. I'm going to tell you
Oh,
right
yeah.
now.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of want to take credit for discovering, not discovering you, but I'm putting him in his first fucking film, so
Yeah.
he's going to be my guy.
Finding me on the school bus. That's
Yeah,
where we were.
dude.
We were
Him and
sitting
I
on the
sat
bus.
on a school bus while it was raining. Remember, it was raining that
It
fucking
was.
day.
We were-
I got to tell you who was in the scene. It was all the Obliterated guys, but it was okay. He was in Breaking Bad, and then he was in Billions. I forget what his name, his actor's name is, but he plays Wags on
Yeah.
Billions. He
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
bad guy,
Yes.
wasn't he? Yeah,
Yes,
he was on
yes.
that. And then he played the other chemist in Breaking Bad.
Okay.
The guy that Jesse doesn't Jesse kill him or somebody kills
I
him.
think so.
Yeah, I think Jesse shows up and has to
Yeah,
kill him because
yeah.
Walter is being held hostage or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but he was the bad guy anyway. That scene. But yeah, Jesse and we met on a school bus, and then we just became kind of like Ben and I, meeting on set, becoming friends, and
Yeah.
actors have to stick with each other because it is funny because they call it nepotism and they call it, favoritism in the industry and shit, but they don't understand. You guys got to understand something.
Yeah.
When we're going through this grind and we're going through it together, because the guys, actors like us, we all show up. We see each other on other sets. We don't even talk to each other, and we're like, "Oh shit, you're on this? Oh my!" We're talking about feature BG or maybe some little tiny part or whatever, but. It's come to this, and this gets to with the film industry, what's happening right now. It's come to where if you're not making your own shit, if you're not doing your own thing, you're probably not going to get to it anymore.
Yeah.
True.
You've got to get yourself out there and produce. And I say this: pick up a camera and do something. Yeah. You do, but
the
get
game's
on.
changed.
I also tell people get on sets as much as you
Yes.
can. I hate this. I hate when I hear this. Oh, I'm too good for that. I'm
Oh,
too good for
yeah.
fucking BG.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I have been on so many sets now that I know so many. It's like meeting cats, like meeting directors, producers,
Yep.
and how I got to where we are at right now is because of what I did. I fucking grinded it out for 6 years.
Yep.
I sat in those goddamn hot warehouses with my fucking bag and my book, and they only give you water with some Ritz crackers or some shit. I mean, it's, and I hate that. I've always, because in California they don't treat you like that. The background people are unionized, and it's a lot better. They treat you a lot better than they do here in New Mexico. But it's just kind of how you build your resilience in this industry too.
Most
By
def.
if
Yes.
you're going to make it or you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
told that, it's like people are like, oh, I'll just use this one actress for instance. Okay, we hired her. And I asked her, I said, have you ever been on a film set? She says, oh yeah. I've been. I said, okay. And we had this thing come up where I needed volunteers for a BG thing. And I was like, I called her and she goes, I wouldn't fucking ever do BG. I was like, well, isn't that where you started? And she's like, yeah. I was like, well, I was like, why can't you just like help other people out? This was a free thing.
Yeah.
She wasn't getting paid for it.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, I need a pretty actress. Just come help us out. That kind of shit is where I don't want to work with those fucking people
No.
anymore. I have been through the. Now I know the industry. I don't know it 100%. I'm
Right.
getting up there with these top tier people with our film.
Right.
I'm talking to them. They are so professional. I love it.
Yes.
Because they understand what we're going through as a startup. You know what I mean? And thank you guys. I'll just announce it right now. We're working with the Cineverse, Bloody Disgusting, all the stuff on the Toxic Avenger.
Thank you guys.
We got the
thank you.
Toxic Avenger stuff that's going to happen here in a couple months, our live shows, stuff like that. But, you know, it takes a long time. And then we got hit with other obstacles, too. We got hit with strikes.
Yep.
We got hit with fires.
Yep.
Fucking COVID was still kind of
Lingering there.
lingering
for a
at
bit.
the beginning of its thing, shutting things down, turning on. So it's like this industry is not for the weak.
No,
you know?
you definitely have to callous your time. Like you need to develop a thick skin in order to really, do anything in the film industry, in my opinion. I mean, Jesse and I, we met, like we said earlier, we met on Obliterated, and his, I don't know if it was your first day on set, but we were talking about you getting into the film industry, and I remember having this conversation with you about just kind of like how do we make it, basically? And we were discussing just like, it's just time, man. Like just sticking around, outlasting everybody, like
and
it's
being a sponge, man.
Yeah.
But like, don't just be like, I'm too good for that. I don't need to do that because I did that already. That's years ago. It's like, just be a sponge.
Yeah, man.
No,
Show
we
up.
Have to be.
Show up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
Show
it's
up.
also, I got to tell you guys, it's also, guys, where is your short at? I want to plug that too. The one with you and Cowboy. Is that on your YouTube?
It's on Instagram. I think. It may be on
Confirm that.
Yeah.
Get me the
Yeah.
link so we can put that on there. Guys, he did a
absolutely.
really kick-ass short with Cowboy Cerrone, the UFC fighter.
Yep.
And we have if you guys don't know Albuquerque, big fight town. Like we have Jackson Wink here. We have all these gyms and these guys with the cauliflower ears running around.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, you can see big fights on Central every day.
yeah. You know what? I don't know if you've met. You don't know this guy, but George Graham. He's one of my friends. He always told me because he worked for this liquor distribution company and he was like their promotions guy. And he always told me he's like, don't stay out past like midnight. It's like it's always bad news. He's like, go home. Yeah. He's like, and then if you see somebody with cauliflower ear, definitely don't talk to that guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I gotta wrap this thing up, guys, because we only have an hour. But Jess, thank you so much for coming on, guys. I really enjoyed this one. This was a lot of fun. We'll bring you back again if you don't die. Anyway, nah, just kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Definitely not fucking kidding. Anyway, so they got to get back. We're going to plug our sponsors real quick. I'd like to tell everybody, order your copy of Serial Killer, Venom Haas. It's really cool. I don't know if he's back in stock because he sold out the last time. But, guys, if you like horror, this game right here. Then we got Wolf Krusemark art. He does our T-shirts. Guys, we are about to open up a store on our website. Now, our website now is www.creativekill.live. So if you can check out all episodes of the show is going to be on there. We're still in development. We're making this cool website. We're going to put some merch on there. When we do our live events, the link to the ticket sales is going to be there. But we're going to put up everybody's. If you have an indie horror trailer, remember I told you that if you got some indie horror stuff, guys, I do work with studios, but I really would like to promote more new filmmakers.
Definitely.
And me and Ben have this thing where it's like, we're trying to give new guys the chance now, because there is a lot of cool new stuff that's coming out.
Right.
And we always reference the Terrifier series. Like they started from the bottom, now they're here.
Right.
It's kind of like,
they started from the bottom.
yeah. And so then I want to thank real quick, Duke City Toys. Thank you guys. Love you. Crown Jewel and Coin. Love you guys.
Thank you.
And their logo is IPS Global Security. You guys are amazing. And finally, 519 Studios. 519 Studios is here at the City of Albuquerque with Comcast. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for having us and letting us use your studio here. And that's about it for today's show, guys. Again, we had Jessie Crawford. We want to thank everybody for your support. Follow us on all of our socials. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. We haven't jumped on to X yet. I'm not a big X guy. I don't do Twitter. I didn't do Twitter, so we're not going to get on there. But all the other socials, follow us. You'll be able to catch a link to all of our new and exciting things. And just to finally touch on something, so we have got a series of 5 live shows. We're going to announce this more on Friday the 13th. That's kind of what we're doing, the gimmick of that.
Hint, hint.
But we are looking for sponsors. So if you have a product or you have a service here in Albuquerque, or if you have a product, like a horror product or anything, you wanted to get it to a global audience, we are about to start our new show streaming, which is going to be really excited with that new partnership. And it's going to be in front of a global audience. So you don't know where it could go. And we do not charge a lot. It's a very inexpensive sponsorship. So hit us up. We love you. And guys, we're going to close out the show today by telling Jesse, thank you one more time again, Jess. And guys, welcome to Creative Kill. And we're going to sign off today. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And we love all you guys. And take care. We'll see you guys later.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks again, Jess.
Okay, I'm going to go. I got to go step out.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say, Jess, stick around for a bit. I wanted to talk workout tips and stuff like that. I figured maybe we can plan some workouts and get that going and whatnot. Right. Get the guns going. Yeah.
I'm still pretty consistent.
Duke City Toys for new and used toys, games, and collectibles. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, board games, Albuquerque's largest selection of wrestling collectibles, and so much more. When it comes to toys, we don't play. Duke City Toys.